Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you watch this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. So today I wanted to bring you an insanely stupid article that comes from the gaming website Polygon, and it is regarding Helldivers 2. Now, even if you haven't played Helldivers 2, I'm sure that you're aware of it. It's insanely popular, it's taken the internet by storm, and it has basically become like the biggest meme on Instagram right now. So everybody's playing Helldivers 2, everyone's having a fantastic time, and to be honest with you, I haven't seen a community united like this since the Halo days. Maybe Halo 2 or Halo 3, I can't remember which one was really united, but I haven't seen the gaming community as united and having as much fun as they have on Helldivers. But obviously, whenever a lot of people are having fun, there's always going to be someone that has to come out with some nonsense and some way to try and drag everybody into the mud with them. And that's what we're going to be covering today in this article. And the article is called, "For some Helldivers 2 players, the fascist roleplay has gone too far. They talk like we're actually soldiers." Now, I want you guys to stick around to the end because this article takes a couple of turns and I think they're all very interesting to listen to and they're all very interesting to critique, and I want to get your critiques on them. I don't want to spoil what's coming up in the article, so stick around to the end and we'll have a conversation about it. And once again, we'll open some dialogue in the comments section. And look, if you're one of the people that agree with this article, please post your comment in the comments section. If you want to disagree with me, you're more than welcome to. I always look forward to reading those comments. But as I always say, try to not use colorful language because I won't see it because YouTube will delete it. And I don't always remember to check my held for review section, which there has been a lot of comments that have been held for review. Some of you have got very colorful language, which I don't mind, but unfortunately YouTube deletes them. Anyway, let's get to the article and go over some of the points and I'll give my thoughts on them. It took Gantz the Demon 10 days to be able to play Helldivers 2 again. On February 21st, TikTok user AJ Gaming shared a video featuring Gantz killing them. The sequence went viral overnight, garnering 4.8 million views as of this writing. A subsection of the Helldivers 2 community hung up on the politically charged satire theme of the online shooter, labeled the player as a traitor, and began inciting others to shoot on sight. Alongside dozens of TikToks campaigning for a witch hunt, Gantz's PlayStation account was temporarily banned after receiving hundreds of reports. Now, the banning of his PlayStation account, I've never actually heard of that. If that did happen, I do think that's a little bit lame. I think if we're going to keep it to the game and stick to the game's lore, that's where we should leave it. I don't think we should be reporting his gaming account, his PlayStation account. I'm not in support of that. But in Helldivers 2, there seems to be a community-driven lore that is going on in the game. And if you are seen killing other Helldivers, you are deemed a traitor. You are deemed an automaton or some sort of parasite or a termid. I think they call them termids, the bugs. I've been stuck over fighting the automatons for most of my time on Helldivers, so I forget what the bugs are called. But if you're seen shooting one of your teammates, you're branded as a traitor. And that's lore that has been created by the community. And to be honest with you, it is absolutely hilarious. Now, I did see the Gantz the Demon video going around where he shot an entire ship, I believe. It was him or some other Helldivers, but it was a collective video of a bunch of Helldivers, air quotes, shooting their teammates. And look, that's the way the cookie crumbles on this game. If you don't like it, don't shoot your teammates. The last 2 weeks have been surreal. I never thought I would be getting this attention over a team kill inside of a video game. Gantz the Demon told Polygon over Discord. It was pretty cool, but at the same time, reading comments of people saying they were going to find out who I was and release my personal information, I thought about just deleting it all. Now, Gantz the Demon, let me give you some advice when it comes to gamers and death threats and all of these stupid things. 99% of the time, people are not going to do shit. If someone is sending you threats like that, 99% of the time you don't need to worry. And the reason why I'm saying you don't really need to worry is that if somebody is crazy enough to want to harm you or release personal information about you, whether they message you or not, they're going to do it. Most people that are messaging you are just trying to bait you into some sort of argument, are just trying to scare you. Loads of content creators get death threats all the time. I've had my fair share of threats, and you know what? I brushed them off. I don't care. Most people are not going to do shit. Most people are not going to roll up on you. Most people are not going to release your personal information because at the end of the day, even though this is Helldivers and you betrayed your teammates, it is just a game, you know? Within the confines of the game, that's where people are taking out their, air quotes, frustrations on you. But it's not that deep outside of that. Don't delete your social medias. Don't delete your YouTube channels. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have or don't have. Don't let people pressure you into it. So that would be my advice to that. Just a mere few weeks after the launch of Helldivers 2, in which thousands of players were forced to wait in a queue due to the servers being at max capacity, almost every day Gantz the Demon was immortalized in the fan lore. According to Gantz, however, it was all a misunderstanding. The team kill, or TK for short, was payback for a friend being attacked by 2 random players in a team of 4. Gantz then avenged them, which is the clip we've all seen. I completely understand that. I have a friend who has a habit of killing other players when they come in. And I've told him multiple times, if you get caught in 4K, I am not going to defend you, bro. I am not going to be there when the other Helldivers come for you. It's all fun and games, but unfortunately, Gantz, you got caught in 4K. And so the internet has you on a watch list. That's just the way the game's law is going. Again, if you don't like it, don't play the game or change your PSN name. That's the only advice I can really give you. The name of the game here is don't betray the Helldivers. The Gantz situation has since cemented itself as an example of how the in-game theme of fighting a war together is, for better or worse, resounding in the community beyond the game itself. After conducting interviews with over 60 players for this article, it's clear that the propaganda of Helldivers 2 inherently encourages people to band together, but some are acting in bad faith, spinning the clear satire into an overly serious military roleplay, one that extends beyond acts like consecrating someone as public enemy number one. Well, that's just how the game is being played. I don't understand. It's not bad faith. If we go to an alien planet in real life and you shoot one of my teammates, you're a traitor. That's treason. And so they're carrying it over into the game. And again, it's for a bit of fun, and it actually is quite fun. I was on a mission with my friends and some guy entered last night and he shot at one of my friends and then he ran off into the distance. So do you know what? I got my 500 kg bomb. I waited until he was locked down by the termites and I threw the bomb at his head and we didn't let him extract. If you enter a game and you start killing people, then yes, you're going to get put on a hit list. Now, I wasn't recording at the time, luckily for this guy, but he would be regarded as a traitor. I don't actually even remember his name, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So if you don't like it, A, don't play the game because that's the game and that's the law the community has created, or B, don't kill your teammates. Toxicity has become a popular topic around the Helldivers 2 community as of late. Over at the game's subreddit, there have been discussions around pursuing or rejecting a certain meta or playstyle. Players told me that these conversations have allegedly led to some players kicking or TKing people who didn't abide by the consensus. The uptick in TKs has also been attributed to Gantz, as the user told Polygon he's seen several copycat accounts on Discord and TikTok. Listen, toxicity is not a word that I would apply to Helldivers. If anything, I would say this is one of the most positive communities I've ever been a part of. Every time I play Helldivers on my own and I don't have my friends and I choose a random group of people to play with, I end up becoming friends with them. We end up doing loads of missions together. It's very, very rare that I get an arsehole on Helldivers. And I can't say that for most other games I play. I mean, most of the people watching this channel play fighting games. And it's very, very hard to come across non-toxic players half the time in games like Mortal Kombat. And unfortunately, to a lesser extent, Tekken. I have had an uptick in really bad faith players, and that comes by way of plugging. But my point is that toxicity is not a word that I would use to describe Helldivers. On top of that, you can just leave games. You know, if someone's doing something that you don't like, you can literally go back to your ship and go somewhere else. The map is so vast and there's so many planets to go to that you can go to a planet that nobody's really on and you're left there to play on your own. Such hostility is unfounded in terms of game mechanics alone. Some of the people interviewed said they'd seen players embrace the game's emphasis on cooperation and that this attitude has been more prevalent than instances of toxicity. This is thanks to multiple factors. All players receive the same rewards upon extraction, and there's a bonus for the number of players who make it out alive from a mission. Moreover, everybody is working toward the same goal, completing objectives to help liberate planets in an ongoing war, keeping teamwork in mind, especially for higher difficulties where an organized squad can be the decisive factor in a tough situation, is an integral pillar of the experience. Yeah, when you play on Helldivers mode, you need to be on the same page. The game will not let you extract if you're not. The amount of enemies that come at you, and these ain't stormtroopers, their bullets are landing. So the game does emphasize that you work together as a cohesive unit. I haven't seen this much love among a community since the Halo 3 days. Haru Tachibana said over Discord, the game gives everyone a sense of pride of being a piece of the greater puzzle. You see players actively fighting in the world below you and you get the surge to dive down and help them. This was supported by Kadrian96, who pointed out the novelty of the narrative around Helldivers 2 being purely player driven as opposed to other live service game events where players' mission results don't impact the story. This makes it feel like if we lose, we are all going to see the consequences in a higher enemy count, stratagem bonus, or different climate conditions on the planets, he said. This echoes the events of Malevolent Creek and the first unsuccessful mission last week. Guys, I was on that planet when it went down. I was there. I saw things that I can't even repeat to you. My brothers didn't make it out, but I did. I lost an eye on the way. No, I'm joking. But it is so much fun. Like, I was actually there when the planet was going down, and I remember me and my boys, like, we need to do our part, and it was just absolute chaos. Like, we were completely overrun to the point where we knew we were finished. We knew the planet wasn't going to be liberated. We knew by the time we woke up in the morning it was going to go down. And so we all just unleashed our stratagems at the same time on our last health, and we blew as many automatons to smithereens as we could, and we went down in a blaze of glory. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Most interviewees pointed out at the sense of camaraderie as a big uniting force. 11 of them replied to the questions in character, talking about doing their part for the sake of democracy alongside their fellow divers. A couple of Discord profiles were entirely committed to the bit, from display names detailing in-game ranks to profile pictures that say Malevolent Creek veteran. Yeah, what's the problem with that? That's fun. People are really engaging in the lore, and we don't even need the developers to do it for us. We're doing it ourselves. You know, there's a whole TikTok page that updates, that gives you daily galactic reports. I think that shit is so cool. I don't see what the problem is. The community has been expanding on the game's thematic propaganda since its launch, including anything from fan-made posters that gave birth to slogans like Spill Oil, to the Super Earth broadcast, a fan-run TikTok account that shares daily updates about the Galactic War. That's the one that I was talking about. Several interviewees said that these community creations convinced them to purchase the game. Most found its satirical perspective was easy to roleplay around or create fan-made content that adds to the world building. Others expressed concerns for those players who are taking it to an extreme. What could you possibly be concerned about? If you don't like something, don't play with people. There are so many spaces in Helldivers to play on your own. I have played on my own multiple times, and I've also chosen to go play with strangers. You don't have to play with people, and even if you did, what concerns? Using a word like extreme in a video game is absolutely ridiculous when you're talking about people building lore on their own. Something about Helldivers 2 makes the people taking it too seriously a very big problem. User VV Gaming said over Discord. They talk like we're actually soldiers. I get role-playing, hell, I love the role-playing, but so many people get so into the war aspect that they fail to realize that not everyone cares as much as them. Then piss off. VV Gaming, go away then. Go play in your own little corner of Super Earth. Like I said, there's so many places to play the game. If you don't like how people are playing it, don't play with them. There's loads of people that go into Helldivers 2 and don't even have their mics on. I've played with them before. Sometimes I don't have my mic on. And you just shoot aliens and you shoot robots and that's it. The fact that people are getting so into the war aspect and so into spreading democracy and liberty and fighting for freedom, I think it's cool. It makes me want to turn on the game and join the fight. I feel like I'm part of something bigger. All we really need the developers to do is give us new weapons, new enemies, more planets, more conditions, and eventually have there be an end goal where we maybe take over something and then a new enemy emerges, and it will give players a sense of fulfillment, and it will continue to drive the lore in the game, which the community seems very happy to make up on their own. She added that there's been an increase in people who are only interested in watching the numbers go up. Baptized as creakers by the community, they tend to spew toxicity against anyone whom they consider to be hurting the war effort by not taking part in major orders. Part of this hate has recently been redirected toward developer Joel, who was described as Helldiver 2's Dungeon Master in an interview with PC Gamer. The community seems to have latched onto a name, and now he's the face of the galactic war as a whole, which I cannot imagine is good for his mental health. What are you talking about? Do you know how badass it is to be the face of a galactic war? I would love that responsibility. Joel, listen, if your mental health is not good enough to deal with a bunch of gamers looking at you as the face of the galactic war, by all means, bestow me of that privilege. I would love nothing more than to be in charge of this war. I don't know who this VV Gaming person is. I don't know if it's a made up profile, but this is absolutely absurd. If your mental health is not strong enough to deal with a flipping game that most people, 99% of people, are having a good time on and just getting into the role playing section of it, then you shouldn't be playing games. You should be seeking help. Like, I don't understand. It's not like mental health isn't a real thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if your mental health is so down bad that you're deemed a dungeon master and it's affecting you, then you've got much, much bigger problems. I'm not even downplaying it. I'm just saying you're spending your time doing the wrong things. Now, I'm not even saying Joel has this mental health issue, because to be honest with you, with the way the game has been designed and the fact that they haven't bent the knee to any of these activists asking for things, which is what we're going to get to in a little bit, tells me that these people are pretty tuned in, they're pretty screwed on, and I doubt his mental health is being affected. He's got the most badass position in this entire thing. Players have found other ways to combat the hate. The Super Earth says Trans Rights Discord server, a queer-led group with 70 current members, is one of several sub-communities that sprawled outwards from the official Helldivers 2 server. The channel Bigot Watching collects hundreds of messages and interactions where users in official Helldivers 2 channels, such as Helldivers official Discord, had insulted members of the Discord using slurs and threatened them via DMs. In screenshots shared with Polygon, these users had explicitly used Nazi speech to primarily target trans and furry folks, as well as using images of related paraphernalia such as SS uniforms in their profile pictures. Developer Arrowhead did not respond to Polygon's request for comment about any of these issues in time for publication. Can we see these screenshots? Can we see them? I'm willing to bet that this could all be brushed over as some sort of silly joke. Like, people get way too in their feelings. And also, what I'm a bit perplexed about is, why is there a queer-led Super Earth group? I mean, ain't we all supposed to be together? Isn't that the whole point of Super Earth? That it doesn't matter what race, religion, whatever background you're from, what gender you are, whatever you did in your life, the whole point of the Super Earth moniker, or the whole point of the kind of narrative that they're trying to build in Helldivers, is that we're all one and we're all meant to be fighting against aliens and robots. Are you telling me that if aliens and robots came here to try and destroy us in real life, you would have your own queer section? Like, what sense does that make? Doesn't it make more sense for us to all be united? Like, when I'm saying all of us united, that means no American flag, no British flag, no Spanish flag, no Italian flag, just Super Earth. Just, we're all one, we're all united, we're all equal, we're all here fighting for a cause. Isn't that what we all want? Equal rights, right? I mean, that's what the game is kind of promoting, that we all stand together and we fight the enemy. And yet you want to segregate yourself over here. Like, I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. The problem here isn't actually the biggest. Those are an unfortunate fact of life that can never be fully eradicated, user Bapanda said over on Discord. The problem is that Arrowhead's official spaces have made the deliberate decision to silence LGBTQ+ voices under the guise of banning any political discussion, as if people's identities are political, and as if this game was not created and marketed as a heavy-handed piece of political satire. Well, here's the problem. Because we're shooting aliens and robots, nobody gives a shit about who you take to bed or how you identify. The best thing this game did was just brand everyone as citizens of Super Earth, which basically tells you that whether you're gay or straight, you stand together and you fight the aliens. I mean, isn't that what people have been asking for a long time? Now, obviously, we're talking about a video game. We're not talking about real life. But in the context of a video game where gamers stand together and they play the game, don't you just want to be treated as an equal? Why do you want to enter a hell pod and we go to a planet together and you have a pride flag? Who gives a fuck, bruv? We're shooting aliens. What are you talking about? Do you need your armor to have rainbows all over it? I don't understand. I'm more than happy to stand next to you. I don't care if you're trans or gay, black, Chinese, white, whatever you want to identify as. I don't care. Let's just shoot some aliens. Let's be bros. Let's hug it out. Let's shoot some aliens. When Wendy Wilson joined the official Discord, she asked if it'd be possible to have pride flag capes added to Helldivers 2. She told Polygon she's since been receiving messages telling her to keep your shit out of our game, followed by slurs and harassment after she changed her profile picture to the trans flag in protest. After posting a long message in the official Helldivers 2 Discord detailing the events and asking for proper moderation, she was timed out for 24 hours. Her message was deleted and another swarm of people DM'd her. Disallowing discussion only causes LGBT members of the community to hide, while the bigots get to remain. Read an excerpt from the deleted message. Listen, forget about the trans community for a second, forget about LGBT. If you come into the Helldivers 2 Discord and you're asking for a Make America Great flag, if you're asking for a Trump flag, if you're asking for some sort of evangelical Christian representation, if you're looking for Islamic representation, if you're looking for your country's flag, everyone should be treated the same. You should be booted out. Why do you need your flag or your community represented in a game that represents everybody? That's what I don't understand. Keep your shit out of our game is a very valid response, and it's not just a response that I would give to the LGBT community. I'd give it to BLM, I'd give it to feminists, I'd give it to the Trump crowd, I'd give it to conservatives, I'd give it to the religious crowd, I'd give it to anybody that is coming into the game trying to bring real world politics into it, because games are supposed to be escapism. Games can be political, but you don't need to self-insert all the time. Do you feel excluded when there's no pride flag? Do you feel excluded if there's no Make America Great flag? Isn't the whole point that we all stand here together? That it doesn't matter where you're from? I mean, like I said, if a real war kicked out and the military did not grant you your LGBTQ flag or your Make America Great flag again, if we're going to be fair, we'll just name both for argument's sake, are you going to say, well, I'm not fighting then? Like, what is going on here? The problem here is that you're trying to push your real world views into a video game and keep your shit out of the game is a very valid response. It's not phobic to say that, because as I said, if a trans person joins my game, not that I would know anyway, even if I did, if a trans person joined my game, or a black person or a white person or a woman, I don't care. Let's just go shoot the aliens. We can hug it out. You can add me on friends. I don't care what's swinging between your legs. I don't care who you take to bed. I don't care about the color of your skin. You're trying to destroy video games. That's what you're not understanding. You don't need real world representation in the games. Enjoy the game for what it is. Encounters like this have extended to the game itself. This past weekend, user Mechanized Contortion was team killed and kicked from a public lobby after somebody in the squad saw the trans flag in her Steam profile picture. When I joined, I saw him go AFK for a bit, and when he came back, he had typed in the chat along the lines of, "Get out of my game, freak," and then killed me, she said. He told me after I asked why he said that, and he said he looked at the Steam profile and that he doesn't like your kind of people. He kicked me after that. It was fucking surreal. Now look, friendly fire is on this game, and I'm not going to pretend that there's not going to be arseholes playing. There's arseholes everywhere you go. Like I said, my very first game of Mortal Kombat 11, the guy turned on the mic and started calling me monkey. And I was like, I started laughing. I was like, how does he know I'm black? It was surreal as well, but I was like, whatever. But I keep it moving. I don't care that much. Why do you care? Okay, he shot you in a game. Boo-hoo. Go play someone else. It happens to all of us. You think I haven't been called black slurs before when I'm playing games? I mean, that's all we heard in Call of Duty 4. That is all we heard. Like, someone turn on the mic, "Hey, your mom's an N-word." It's like, bro, why? Why? What did I do to you? But you know what? I keep it moving because it's a video game. You cannot be this much of a wet blanket. Now, I'm not saying that this didn't happen to you, because there's shitty people in video games. But then again, are they really shit, or are they just taking the piss? But then this might not have happened. This is a very easy way to try and gaslight Arrowhead into making changes that don't need to be made. As it stands, interviewees echo that the opportunity for players to grief one another is incredibly high. With the way friendly fire works, some argued that the mechanic adds realism, and clips of accidental kills received with just contribute to the virality around the game. Others are aware of how kicking and killing teammates is being used in bad faith. The friendly fire mechanic in this game is pretty hilarious. There's an enemy in this called the Charger, and if you shoot it in the face, it's got like armor on it, and the bullets sort of ping off it. And my friend was shooting the Charger, and the bullet pinged off and hit me in the face. It was a hilarious moment. Now, obviously, like I said, with friendly fire, there are going to be arseholes. I have actually been on a mission where we all got into the space pod to take off to be extracted, and this prick shot all of us. We were laughing so much, but I was like, this guy, what an arsehole. And then he left, and I don't know where the footage is right now. If I find it, I'll find it. But again, I'm not going to cry over it. It's whatever. When asked for features they'd like to see to mitigate these issues, users mentioned that being able to report players for griefing or team killing added a friendly fire warning similar to that in Rainbow Six Siege, and penalties for going against teamwork could make a difference, among other similar suggestions. And I say to that, no. Arrowhead, if you're listening, please do not cave to the stupid requests of these people. If these people want to be wet blankets, they can go elsewhere. Like they said, Rainbow Six Siege exists, so go and play that game. What Arrowhead has created here is nothing short of genius, and if they cave to these people, they're going to ruin their game. Arrowhead, look at the trajectory of your game. It's only getting more and more popular, the lore is only expanding, and it's only becoming more and more fun and positive for people to join this community. If you start bending the knee and kowtowing to these vocal minority types, you are going to lose your player base. You need to ignore them. Issues that extend to the community as a whole, however, seem to grow more unwieldy by the day. The thing about this game is that on the surface, it looks like a game for chuds. User Rainy said over Discord, media illiterate boogaloo boys will take the advertising at face value, not realizing they're the ones being parodied, like people who unironically think Homelander is the hero of the boys. What? No, I don't think so. I think you're reading too much into it, dude. Honestly, I think everyone knows that the game is obviously very Starship Troopers-esque, and it is meant to be a parody, and I don't think anybody thinks that Homelander is the hero. I haven't gotten that far into the boys, but from what I've seen, he seems like a murderous psychopath who has mummy issues, but I don't know where you got that from. It just seems like you're trying to attack men, but whatever. A 21-year-old user who asked for anonymity said over email that because tools like the website and API Helldivers.io are exposing the raw data behind the the curtain, it's led to a more meta take on the war. According to this player, details such as liberation rates for each planet have been used to spread hate at others for not playing the game right, which has included death threats. The user has since created a separate brigade, acting as one of the several sub-communities meant to be a safe and open space for queer folks. I care so much for Helldivers 2 and the community I found, they said, and I'd hate to see this game become known for its toxicity not being addressed. And that is the end of the article. And to that I say, listen, if you feel threatened over a video game and you want to create your own subsection of the community off in Super Earth in some dark corner, by all means go and do it. But guys, for everyone else that has a backbone, it's just a fucking game. Everyone's just having a bit of fun. This word toxicity gets thrown around so much it's unreal. My experience on this game, like I said, has been overwhelmingly positive. And I've been through the Call of Duty days. I was there during Halo. I've been on Mortal Kombat. I've been on Tekken. I've even been there when World of Warcraft was popping. I wasn't playing it, but I was always there when my friends were playing it and I could hear what was going on. And this is the most positive community. Now, to anyone that is gay watching this, anyone that's trans, anyone that's queer, you should not feel excluded because maybe you encountered some people that said some unsavory things about your identity. People say unsavory things all the time. How many black jokes have been made against me on Call of Duty? I couldn't even count. It doesn't matter. You just laugh it off and you keep it moving. Words can't hurt you, okay? You need to look in the mirror and tell yourself that 100 times. Stop trying to get these developers to kowtow to your needs and your wants and grow a backbone. You don't need a pride flag in the game the same way I don't need the Greek flag in the game. I don't need the Ugandan flag. I don't need a Hawaiian flag. I don't need a British flag. I don't need a German flag. I don't need any of that. I need the Super Earth flag. I need my brothers to stand with me on Super Earth and we need to go shoot some aliens. And that's it. Now, if you join my game and you announce that you're trans, I'm going to be like, well, why are you announcing that? Let's just play the fucking game. I'm not announcing to you that I'm half black, half Greek, am I? I'm not announcing to you that I'm straight. Why are you announcing to me that you're gay? We don't need to know these things. It is a video game, guys. You don't need to make subsections where black people can feel protected and queer people can feel protected and this is only for white people and this is only for Trump supporters. You're ruining the game by doing that. Like I said, we're all supposed to stand together. It's all meant to be escapism. We're not meant to be bringing real world issues into these games. You don't need a pride flag on your cape. You don't need it. Because at the end of the day, if aliens were to really come down and we were to really fight robots that were trying to take over the earth, and you were talking about a pride flag, I would deem that as treason because we've got aliens to shoot over there and you're talking to me about some nonsense. Nobody cares who you take to bed. And I mean that respectfully. Now, let's go hand in hand and go shoot the aliens, okay? Relax yourself. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to read that article to you because I did find it interesting that we've got this really popular game right now and there's again people complaining, saying, oh, I don't feel represented, when the game is meant to represent everybody. But I'd like to get your thoughts on the situation. Let me know, leave a comment in the comment section below. If you play Helldivers, let me know, leave your PSN in the comment section and maybe we'll go dive in together. And no, I don't care if you're trans or gay or black or white or straight or female. It doesn't matter. If you want to shoot some aliens with me, I don't care what walk of life you come from, I don't care how you look, and I don't care who you take to bed. We can go shoot those aliens.